quick. Perfect. So as you were saying, since the book came out, hundreds of requests. Go ahead.
Yeah, since the film came out, I've received hundreds of requests from people from all over the world, and I kind of set myself up. I kind of messed up because in the film I say something like, if you got a great story, I want to hear it. So I got 300 emails in a week from people saying, "I have a great story. Let
I
me tell."
bet.
I'm like, "Okay." Which is fine. I'm glad. I'm grateful. But as it is in my professional life and in my career, 95 to 96% of requests that come to me, I'm not interested in. They're not my type of story. They're not my type of book, and or they're just not ready to hire
Yeah.
a ghostwriter at all. The bulk of them aren't. 85% aren't even ready to hire me, which is fine. But anyway, what I'm saying is, out of those 300 plus requests, the only meetings I've had are now with you and with this one other person. So I'm very discerning, and
Yeah, as you should be. Thank you.
of course. And I have some parallels to Anna's story. I very different, obviously. I'm a male, but I grew up in poverty, alcoholic, asshole father who used to beat the hell out of me when I was a kid. My mother was insane. She tried to kill me. I moved
Wow.
out of my house when I was 15. Moved in with my college girlfriend and started ghostwriting college papers when I was a kid, and built a solar trike. I traveled across country. I hitchhiked across America. I was homeless in LA. I had a very traumatic experience in Los Angeles and lost my mind for like 3 years, and I got it
It's
back.
amazing.
When I got it back, I was a totally different person. I became a writer. That was 10 years ago. So, I love stories like that because I can relate to them, and I think so many people can relate to them because it's the raw truth of the human experience, and a lot of us don't really have the greatest experience growing up.
Yeah. And again, when I talked to, because I've read so many books, one of them I read years ago was A Million Little Pieces.
I love that book. That's my
Yeah.
favorite memoir.
And so
Well,
when I looked at that, which he did a great job, but it in my opinion, it didn't provide a platform for change where he didn't quite have the resources to pull things off to really make a difference. The book was great, but
yeah,
it didn't achieve an impact like I think because of Anna's background and financial resources and tools that exist now,
yeah,
there's a lot that could be done differently. Um, and then the interest too with you, Alex, quite frankly, was to possibly not do it as a ghostwriter, but learning about you and your background, having some name attachment to it. If you like the story and the platform and where it's going, having you on the writing service side, but having your name also attached for some of that, publicity and credibility within the market as a partner in the project, not,
yeah.
behind the scenes.
That's very interesting. Yeah, not a lot of people want that. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, especially if you're talking about where your background was and stuff, it's fascinating because there needs to be more impact for change, not awareness. Like I do a slide all the time. Awareness builds apathy, actions bring achievements.
Yeah, I
You
like
don't
that.
need more awareness campaigns. Like you need action campaigns. And so that's where I think this with Anna could go to a really important level. But the story has to be told properly. And again, that's where we landed back with you,
Yeah.
you know. And again, John's a complicated story, and you did a great job on it.
Well, that remains to be seen. The book comes out in 2 months, but I've been told by the people who've read it that I did a great job on it. So let's hope. It's just I'm way too close to it to judge it,
Yeah.
But it was a very complicated story to write about that. Oh man.
So what if I may ask from the time in LA, well, number one, and if you don't want to answer this, was any of it physical or sexual abuse? Because it happens on the male side as well as the female.
That's a great question, and the answer is almost. The thing, I was very idealistic, and I had built the solar trike. I was going to drive it across country, make a documentary
Cool.
about, about social and environmental change. The trike broke down because I was broke. I couldn't rebuild it for like 7 months, and I
Yeah,
needed to go. So I hitchhiked and so I left. But yeah, on the streets, very different reality I discovered being this, small town kid. I discovered that there are 51,340 homeless people just in LA,
yeah.
which is
Wow.
like 5 times the population of my hometown. And so I lived among these people. I was homeless with them for many months. And at some point, I was on the beach and this guy kicked me. I was sleeping in a sleeping bag. He kicked me awake like 3 in the morning. And he was really nice, nicely dressed, suit and everything, slick back hair, looked like a lawyer or a doctor, you know what I mean? Just came from a cocktail party. Um, and he told me to take off my pants. I was like, what I just started waking up, and I thought it was a dream at first, and then I realized it wasn't. I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. And he had a knife, um,
Wow.
a long like Bowie knife, and I panicked, but yeah, I had this really weird thought that this guy he was like a serial killer. He probably would have killed me too. And so I had fight or flight instincts, but I was wearing my boots because I'd been jumped before, and Bailey, and I had lost some of my stuff, and you can't run away barefoot, but on the
Yeah,
beach you can't run away with boots on. So I tackled the guy. Um, I beat him up really badly actually. So it didn't like he didn't rape me, or anything, but it really uh it like changed my life and my perspective, and I got real scared. I was like 19, and I was just terrified to fall asleep after that, and I was on the streets, and so I didn't
yeah.
sleep for 6 days, and then I had
Wow.
a breakdown. But you know yeah, so the fact that that could happen, and that it happened to other people, and I looked in that guy's eyes and I just knew on some molecular level, like, he had done this before.
Before,
And
yeah, that's scary.
yeah, it
It's
was scary for you.
yeah. And
Anyway,
homeless, like there's these different platforms, and homelessness is one of them that's obviously
stop.
an issue. But I learned it more even and
Feels,
as I learned
feels,
about Anna,
ah, sorry.
this aspect of sexual abuse and the grooming that happens, and kids and boy, and they're a lot of times it apparently is somebody that's close to you, so they don't know where to go. Like there's not a lot of resources for it, and that's kind of what, when I was outlining Butterflies, her story. And again, to be fair, Alex, I'm not a script writer. I have no desire. Like, I know the top people in the industry. I'm not trying to be in the industry, but I can help friends of mine get in the right places if I like what they're doing. And
Mhm.
that's kind of where this landed. And she's in a position, has the financial resources. The timing is something to do now, where the story platform is there, ready to be done and told. The film will be put in process because it's set up to be funded. So I just wanted, to see where you are coming out of the project, if this might be of interest compared to the one or two other things you're looking at, but also give you where the vision is. This is about having platform for change, feature film, and having somebody like you attached as the writer, in front for the credibility for what the impact could be. I wanted to make sure was relayed, because I can go. I mean, I got friends of mine that'll do ghostwriting for 5 or 8 thousand. That doesn't, a professional's expensive, an amateur costs a fortune. So as a
Mhm.
professional, you're expensive, but there's merit that comes with that. I can go get an amateur to write this thing, and that's not going to get the job done, and the story told the right way. And that's kind of what we're looking for.
Glad to hear it. Yeah. Well, I'm absolutely intrigued by the story. I was just before we even got on a call. Um, as for putting my name on it, I would have to give that more thought because, I just am about to produce the first book with my name on it. And with that is a whole batch of questions I need to ask myself as far as like branding and all that stuff I never really thought about.
Well,
And
you're
what
out
kind
front
of
somewhat on the book with John.
What's that? Yeah, that's the
The
book.
McAfee book, your name's attached on it, right?
Well, that's my book. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
so that's the first book of mine that actually has. That's the first book I've ever written that has my name on it,
I
and
see. Okay.
yeah, so it's a brand new sort of space for me to be in and to think about. So I just
Okay.
have to think a little bit more about that aspect. That's all.
Perfect. Well,
Yeah,
for the process of what you have, the timing, the potential budget and all that, that's all a go. The next, the question would be if this is at least of interest to set up a call with Anna, have you guys do a Zoom and talk and ask whatever questions
absolutely.
and have you meet her and take that next step. If we could do that, that'd be great.
I'd love to. That'd be great.
Okay. And I'd rather do it before everybody else starts jumping in the queue.
No, don't worry. When you're in the queue, you're at the top of the queue. So you're at the top of the queue. You
All
guys
right,
are.
perfect.
Yeah. When would she like to chat?
She'll probably come online in California in an hour or two. My guess would be in the next day or so. Like she, again, super intense, but super amenable. Like when she wanted to do this, she's like, okay, I want this done now. I'm like, all right, well, and again, you were gracious in getting back to me. I'm like, let's see if we can get a hold of, Alex, see what his timing is. But yeah, I'll send her a note and it could be as soon as, possibly today since you're just coming back online or tomorrow.
Sure.
But
Okay.
what's your availability the next day, 2 or 3 before the end of the week?
I'm great in the mornings. In the afternoon, I'm a bit booked up.
Okay. And
You
you're
know.
East Coast?
Yep.
Okay. Let me
But
see what I can do then, and possibly we can shoot for tomorrow or Friday. I'd rather do it sooner than later for both of you guys.
I think that's great. I'd love that.
Perfect. And what's next steps for you with the book and Netflix and all that? Are you going to do a premiere? Do you have LA stuff planned? How's it going to roll out for you?
So my publicist just wrote to me yesterday. He said I'll be on Joe Rogan next week. So I'm gonna.
Amazing. Very cool.
Yeah. I don't know. The guy's a little squirrely. I'm still trying to figure him out. He gets on the phone with people and makes deals, but I don't see the proof. So I just with something this big, I want to know it's for real. So I'm gonna call.
Squirrely being your publicist or Joe? Like Joe's a little squirrely on his questions, but he's awesome. You
No,
mean
no,
your
no.
publicist is squirrely?
Yeah, yeah.
Got it.
He's a little all over the place. So I just gotta like walk him into a phone call and say what's going
Okay.
on. But yeah, he says I got to fly out there mid next week to go on the Joe Rogan podcast. I got another huge podcast. Got Adam Carolla in October. Um, the stuff with Netflix is mostly done. They're arranging an exclusive interview with Newsweek
Okay.
sometime next week or so. So all that stuff is kind of it'll be like a wave for a little bit for a couple months, and then my book will come out in November, so it'll probably like go back up again, and there will be a lot more press. So yeah, and the book is done. I'm just reviewing the copy edited version over the next 4 days,
Okay.
and then they publish it, and we're good to go. So
Good for
that's the
you. Good.
process.
And when we were speaking earlier, was there an interest in Mark Victor Hansen, for you to meet him or talk to him, or you just know who he was? And
Oh man, I mean, I always love to meet people like him, but yeah, just yeah. I mean, if I'm where are you guys based anyway? You're in Dubai?
well, I'm in Dubai on some work projects. I live in LA. Mark and
Cool.
Crystal actually live in Arizona.
Oh, in Arizona. Cool. Okay. Well, over the next 4 to 6 months, I'll be traveling quite a lot for the book signings and
Yeah.
and workshops and things like that. So if I'm ever crossing paths, I would love to meet that person. Love to meet you too.
Okay. Yeah. Let's there'll be some things we could do to keep in touch, and then some of the places you're gonna be, then I'd love to make introductions. Like Mark's in Arizona. It depends on where Deepak is, you
Cool.
know. Michael Gerber's awesome, who wrote the E-Myth. He's down in San Diego.
Oh, neat. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's just random people around. Peter Diamandis from X Prize, Salim Ishmael from Singularity.
Cool. Huh. You know a lot of people.
I've been at this a long time. I'm very fortunate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I know I'm in a niche and a gap. I know my lanes,
Yeah.
and there's a bunch of things that I don't know, but there's some I do. And I said John was great. I met him probably 4 times, I think. We spent most of the time in Malta when he was there at the one event.
Yeah, I have sort of a love-hate relationship with John, as you can imagine.
The that would be easy to do because you would have been much closer to him than me. He was quirky enough when we were spending time with him, just in normal conversation.
Yeah, he's fun. He's fun to be around to a point.
Yeah, yeah. I use quirky.
Yeah,
We'll give it
that's
quirky.
cool. Small world. Huh. Yeah.
Yeah, so think too. I mean, I'll send you my podcast if you ever want to do one on mine. They're pretty simple. Mine's just a 30-minute interview, and then it goes out to some of the top people I know. Steve
Wow.
Wozniak, with Ken Hardesty and Wozniak, Bob Diamond, chairman of Barclays, Steve Mnuchin.
No way. Holy cow. You know the Woz? You know Steve
Uh,
Wozniak?
I know Woz and his wife.
Cool.
Again, I'm interesting, Alex, because I know Steve, but I also know like Ken Hardesty is who I know. Ken runs everything for Steve.
Okay.
So if I need to email Steve or Janet, I can, but I don't usually. I go to Ken and say, hey, here's what's going on. Does this make sense for Steve, or what can I do to help you guys?
Wow.
That
Well,
kind of
as you
thing. Yeah.
probably know, being where you
Huh?
are, as you probably know, being where you are in life, so much of this is about networking. It really is.
Yeah.
Even in the literary industry, it's about who you know. If you don't have access to the gatekeepers, then you don't get beyond the gate. You stay beyond the city walls, and just the
Yeah.
way that it is. In
I,
business.
I agree. And then if you look over my little shoulder here before we go, the bullseye guy. So
Yeah.
you can't read it. I can send it to you. It's not just about who you know, in my opinion. It's about what they need that you can one day help them achieve.
Hmm.
If I can learn what somebody needs or what's important to them, then I have an open door to potentially help them achieve their goal, even if it doesn't have anything to do with me.
I really like that. Yeah, it's about value propositions, right?
It's what's in it for you. What are you passionate about? What are you most interested in? Even when I was mentioning to you, putting your name on it may or may not be something of interest, but there's value if you think it is, So yeah, finding out what's important to somebody is that next level under of having access. Access is great, but if I know how to solve your problem, then I have unlimited access to fix your problem. Even if it doesn't benefit me, it might at some point later.
I love that. Huh. Well, I gotta say, Stephen, if you want to write a book sometime, you should hit me up.
I tell you what, I have one that'll probably be done, but I'll find a way to have you tweak it for me. Mine will end up being the 10-step program of the Bullseye Guy. Mine will just be, it's a self-improvement book for the 10 steps.
Cool.
Yours is much broader and deeper than mine. Mine will be like a cookbook for self-improvement. It won't be a story. It'll be
Yeah.
a book of ingredients. Do this step 1, 2, 3. But
Yeah.
I do appreciate it. That's very kind of you.
Yeah, of course. Well, I'm definitely interested, and I love the energy. I'm the kind of person also who's, if I want to do something, I just do it. I don't just spend months like figuring it out and like feeling it around. I operate based on my intuition and the way I feel and the rapport that I have with people. So I'd love to get on a call with Anna and yeah, and take this further,
Okay.
and see if we're a good fit. I have a feeling we
Perfect.
will.
I'll work it out with her today, and we'll see maybe this around this same time or so, tomorrow or Friday. But I'll lock it down as quick as I can to be fair to your schedule.
Great. Well, also, we don't have to do the morning tomorrow, my morning, because I know she's on the West Coast. Friday is kind of complicated for me. It'd have to be the morning, but tomorrow is pretty open. So just keep that
Well,
in mind.
it's not that 10:30 is 7:30 there, 7:30, 8:30, So if
Yeah.
I can shoot for sometime before noon, we'll see what we can do.
All right. That sounds great.
All right. All right. Perfect. Enjoy. And what's your puppy's name? He kept sticking his head up. Where'd he go?
He's like, oh, he heard us. Here he comes. Come here, buddy. This guy is Bailey. There. Hey, Bailey. That's Bailey.
Cute. And what
And
is
then
it?
his big guy is Bailey, and the little guy is Socks.
Sauce.
Sorry, socks. Like
Socks. Okay.
yeah, socks. Yeah.
And what is Bailey? I could only see the nose until you move the camera. What is she or he?
They're both boys, and he is an Australian Shepherd, and the other one
Okay.
is a mini Australian Shepherd. So they're both
Oh, it's a
Aussies.
mini.
Yeah, yeah.
Very
He is.
cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love these guys. They're
That's
amazing.
why they
It's
keep
been,
sticking their nose in. They have to be active.
exactly. They need to know what's going on at
Yeah.
all time.
Perfect. All right. Well, I appreciate your time and let me see what I can do to get this set up and see if you guys can move forward.
Sounds great, Stephen. I
All right.
appreciate you.
All
All
right.
right, we'll
Thanks,
chat
Alex.
soon.
All right.
All right.
Bye
See
bye.
you.